Here's a question. How come whenever my team makes a stupid mistake, which seems like all the time, I'm always there to save the day? But if I make even one mistake, I instantly die and my team is nowhere to be found. Well, in this video, I'm gonna be giving you guys 10 tips for better team chemistry that you can start using right now. So to keep things easy for you guys, I'm simply going to be saying good play or bad play every time our team makes some sort of a decision. So first things first, we have our boys Scythe, Carnage, and also we're being joined by Swag Boy. We're gonna be trying to grab this contract right off rip. We got a couple players landing on top of us as well. Scythe actually getting some live pings for us as he was scouting for a second. We got the cleanup here pretty quickly, but unfortunately it actually looks like the enemy team grabbed that contract, which is a huge letdown for us. So not necessarily a bad play on our part, but a more so unfortunate play, because now we're basically here over at the docks for no real reason. And so we're going to be kicking out of here pretty quickly since there's not a lot of money here. And so we're going to be trying to grab another contract. It looks like Swag is now on his way over towards the boat to try and grab that bounty. And the nice thing about getting a bounty is that in the early game, if it happens to get poached, it's actually going to be free money. So it's not a bad option to actually get a bounty early on, because you don't actually have to get it with the intention to find and fight that team yourself. If it gets poached, you don't get as much money as if you did it yourself, but you still get a good amount. And we're pretty close to getting that 12,500 that you need for a loadout. So we have some players over on the boat as well too. It looks like we're going to be sending that right now. I don't mind this play at all. We can try and collapse on the single player that is over here. We do have somebody actually taking a redeploy over towards us as well. Not sure what he's doing, but somehow we got hit by something here. I think it was either a breacher drone or something just hit us out of nowhere. So we're going to have to step down for a little bit here. Also, as I mentioned, that the bounty did get poached, so we do have enough money to get our loadout, and there is a buy station on the boat. So I don't mind that we're over here. Kind of a no man's land. Not a lot of players typically play out on this boat, but we are close to the buy station, so it's not really a terrible play. But it looks like we are actually going to be rotating away from the boat. Also, as we saw when Scythe was going across the zip line, there is a team towards the dock that is getting their loadout. We saw the red smoke there for a second, so we got to be careful recognizing, hey, that there are players over there with metal weapons, and their next objective is to try and start hunting players. We don't want to get caught flat-footed, so this is a good play right here to just rotate away and not be caught on the low ground if we happen to get our loadout down on the buy station at the boat. Here we're dropping some money for our team, so if we happen to die, we don't lose it all. Also, as I say, they've got a player right in front of us. Speaking of die, thankfully for us, we're able to get that 2v1 situation. He had the head glitch against us, but not a single chance against having Scythe and Carnage shooting that player at the exact same time. Good team shot to get that cleanup, and we should be able to just move on our way out here as well. We got 2 players up on top of prison. If we take a look at the minimap, 3 players actually. So we're going to take that into consideration. So it looks like we're going to be making our way towards Grandma's Buy. We got players over towards Factory. See if we can get the shot off here. We do have a charged Moors, so we could actually shoot through that AC vent and try and get that down. But Scythe actually going to have some trigger discipline there and instead just grab the loadout and say it's not worth the smoke. Let's just get this up, especially as I say that's super not worth the smoke with all these players around. We don't want to be making too much noise before we have our loadout. And also, like I mentioned before, dying with all the money in our pockets. So a great play here, just calming it down a little bit, getting the loadout, and then say, okay, now we can start fighting. Also got a player right on top of us. Swag actually reacting to that pretty quickly and getting the cleanup. Carnage is going to get up for free, no problem. He's actually going to burn his self-revive though. Unfortunately right there, maybe could have got the pickup there. We saw on the UAV earlier that there was a ton of players around, but all of a sudden they just kind of disappeared. We got one player here in the tower, and it looks like Scythe is going to push this. We're trying to get the push right here. He's going up the tower. We got Swag and Carnage underneath. We got a PA on top, so this player is about to be in shambles. If he doesn't jump, he's about to get destroyed. Carnage is going to get that down with the PA as well too, so this is just, he's just dead. This is just GG's. So we are getting looked at right here. We got to be careful. If you happen to get up, we're going to get this re-down instantly, and some very sportsman-like conduct by our boys right here, showing them, yo, don't play in the tower. If you're trying to win in a game of Rebirth in ranked, tower's not going to be it. It's just corny. Guys, go shoot your guns. Try and actually push some teams. So it's going to world star that player and give him a teabag to remember.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I said what I said. But hopefully he's no longer going to be sitting up in the tower when he could actually be using the rest of the entire map to try and get better at the game. So here we are at the tower building itself, just trying to scout out the area, pushing towards the control center buy. We got another bounty as well. Okay. And we got traps all over the place in control. I don't mind shooting out those traps because honestly the last thing you want is to, number one, start wasting plays, but also if there happens to be a team here, give them a free chance to kill you with some corny stuff. Speaking of which, more traps in front of us here. We're just clearing out this area, but somebody was ratted up here heavily at the start of this game. The traps were still active, but here we are pushing towards the boat again, I think. Let's see if we can get this down. This players have decent shots on us on the high ground, but we are going to collapse going forward here. Swag and Scythe now pushing over to trying to get this one down here. And this player pushed into the water. Here he is right here. Good shot. It's going to get the down. And I think Scythe is going to jump in the water just to get the cleanup, just in case he happens to have a self-revive. That's one of the big things too. If you can isolate a fight just like this and then go and get the down, that is totally fine. But you also got to be careful as far as if his team is above you. Now you have players on the high ground, or as I say, you know what, I take it all back. You don't have players on the high ground, you have players hiding in corners. Terrified for their life because they saw Scythe come up on the kill feed and they already know what's good. So terrified for his life, getting world starred by the entire team. And I will say, as far as team chemistry goes, you see how close our team is playing all together. Whether you consider this to be stacking or corny or lame, there's way too many players out there who are stuck in platinum in the low diamonds because they refuse to play as a team, or they refuse to listen to calls or try to stay on the same page with their team. So when it comes to having better chemistry with your team, don't be afraid to get loud, get vocal, and make some callouts so you are for sure on the same page with your team. One of the things you don't want to do is just assume that your players on your team know exactly what the plan is at all times. Speaking of which, we're hitting this fire sale. We got the buy station. I want you guys to pay attention to the utilization of the money. We had $15,000 altogether, and we're going to spend the majority of it just stocking up all of our perks and all of our streaks as much as we possibly can. Walking away with only a little bit of extra money here, basically enough for a buyback if we need it. We got UAVs, we got PAs, we got plates, we got gas masks, everybody has a self-revive. Guys, I say it in every single video, and you should know this at this point if you are someone who is subscribed. Always hit your fire sales. You never want to be in a situation where you could have easily won the game or put yourself in a very good position because all you needed was a self-revive, or all you needed was a gas mask, or even a trophy system. You never know what you might need towards the end of the game, so make sure you're hitting those fire sales. Unfortunately, it looks like Swag is actually not going to make it to the roof as we're flying across here. We do have a couple players in front of us, but not a huge deal. Swag going to make his way up the ladder, and now we're initiating a lane fight. Lane fights are extremely dangerous because if you try to push up too early and somebody's sitting on one of these many headies in front of us, you can get absolutely world stars. So you got to make sure you get an initial pick like we did just there. And now at this point, we can kind of push as a unit. You see our team snaking across the roof, going side to side, trying to clear out the roof versus just running straight down the lane. So this is exactly how it should be done. Good shots coming out here as well. Another player jumping off the roof. And right here, as a team, we are collectively deciding, let's full send this player. So Swag and Scythe right next to each other. Got the highlight behind us. He's over in the corner in the dark. 21 Savage is about to get world star. The whole team is here. Nothing you can do about this. Actually, not a bad fight. Not a bad fight coming up from this one player as well, too. I saw the throwing knife come out as well. He was fighting for his life there, but not much he could have done because, once again, our whole team was on the exact same page. And they said, okay, on the count of 3, we're going to full send this player, and there's nothing he could possibly do. So great team play once again. We got a lot of players over towards prison as well, so I think we're going to take the zip right here, and we see from the arrows underneath the pings that all these players are on the floor below us. So we have the entire route to ourselves, minus this one player who actually might be ghosted. Oh, hold on. I will say this, not a great play by Scythe to full send this one player like this, because now there's really no way to get back to the roof quickly. He's going to have to go all the way around, or at least go up the ramp and then up the ladder. Another player in front of us right here. Unfortunately going to go down, but Swag actually cleaning it up and smoking him like crazy. This is a situation of good chemistry right here. Swag knew the assignment, saying, yo, my boy might have made a mistake, might have got a little bit thirsty for that kill, but he threw the smokes down, kept him safe, and it's like it almost never happened. So Scythe now able to make his way back up relatively quickly, going around the building and hitting the zip. And once again, guys, this is a big part of team chemistry, is just knowing how to protect your team. Scythe did overextend a little bit, but we had the smokes going down over top, we had the fire going down over top, and he was protected and then kept safe, especially now that we have Resurgence disabled. It could have been catastrophic to have him go down because we spent all that money at the fire sale early, and at the time we only had enough money to buy one player back. Now sitting on 7k right here. Now let's take a look at this end circle here. Based on our positioning, we have prime real estate until the circle closes. But the next spot that I would want to go to is that little elbow joint on the catwalk right next to the buy station. That is the prime position to go to because you have high ground on everything. You have a roof above you and you also have walls behind you. So if there are players who are pushing out of prison late, you still have protection from them and you don't have to worry about jumping late from top prison and getting shot out of the air. That's exactly where I would want to go here. If we jump down straight in front of us, it's not necessarily a terrible play, but as you see along the edge of the water tower, it's all open railings. So you got to be super careful there. Of course you can get shot through those. So not necessarily the best place to go to. And I'd even say going to top water tower here would not be a great decision, because once again, high ground is only powerful if you don't have to jump. If you have to jump and you can't make it to the ground without pulling your chute, you're a sitting duck in the air waiting to die. Looks like Scythe is going to push up here, and like I had mentioned, I don't think this is the play right here, unfortunately. There's just too many open areas. Going to be getting shot from the catwalk as well, too. I would have liked to go over there earlier. Unfortunately, Scythe is actually going to go down right here. Players waiting for us underneath as well, right by the water tower. These players as well, actually not in a very good position, but thankfully for them, we actually put ourselves in a pretty bad spot. They're going towards the water tower. Definitely would have liked the elbow joint instead. We got a lot of players towards the hut right now fighting. And it looks like Swag is alive. Carnage is also alive right now. I'm going to try and fight for the buyback, but doesn't have quite enough money yet. He's going to either have to get the money from Carnage or just clean up all these players right here in front of him, just sitting in the corners. Still don't have enough money yet. Going to have to go into the gas a little bit here. Grabbing just enough. Going to get the finish on this player who's rezzing. Got $3,000 now to our name. And this is another, once again, this is another huge team play coming out from Swag to now get us back to full power. And if we need to, Scythe can actually get some pings for us. But as I say, it's a 3v1 situation. This is about to be GG's. Of the greatest, of the highest degree. One player left, all three of us down. Just a little bit of pepper for the SR for the assist. And just like that, we're going to get a 19 kill game and GG's to our boys. And if you're someone who feels like you have super solid team chemistry with your guys, but your rotations are kind of lacking, then I highly recommend checking out this video right here.